Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. And it's very fitting, as it is actually going to be a bot taking on the in-game Starcraft 2 AI. Another bot author was kind enough to send in a replay of their bot just taking on the in-game Starcraft AI. Now, most of these bots are much better than the default in-game AI. Yeah, so we're just going to see how Tom Test can do today against a cheater Zerg, which basically means they get a bit of extra money, so it almost counteracts the speed mining that the bots get. I think the cheater gets a little bit more resources than that. Of course, it gets extra gas as well. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, make sure to go ahead and click that like button. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more bots. You guys are the best at it. You always blow it out of the water by just with the likes, the comments, and then of course subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We have the claim to fame of this being the only channel on YouTube that uploads botcasts every day. Then, of course, if you are interested in other StarCraft content, I do have a second channel. It's always linked in the description down below. And yeah, let's see where this one's going to go. Tom Test is a fairly linear bot in the sense that it goes for the same strategy every time, and it just does it very darn well, which is definitely the approach that a lot of bot authors take when they first program their bot. It's to do just one thing well, and then you kind of branch out and add more stuff on later. I'm not sure when Tom Test has received an update. I do believe it's been a while, but that being considered, it's still quite high on the ladder, even though a lot of bot authors have updated their bots to counter it. And yeah, we're just gonna see how this one goes, as it's fun to watch. And the reason why I wanted to watch these bots take on the default AIs, because it kind of gives you more of an idea of where their level is. As far as, yeah, where their level is as far as, like, how they stack up. Because, like, that's sort of the progression you take when you first start playing StarCraft 2. It's like, okay, what AI can I beat? And then what league am I going to get placed in? And I don't know, I'd say that, like, the default cheater bots are probably around, like, Platinum, Diamond level, something like that. Now, we do have Cheater 1 going for a bunch of Lings and Banelings already, though. Sometimes these AI can be quite aggressive, and I believe we're going to be seeing that right now. So Tom Test, in a rare match, is actually going to be the one on receiving end of aggression, as it is, yeah, usually Tom Test is the bot to march across the map and go for a big push, but Cheater 1 is going to try and beat it to that. Now, we'll see if Tom Test raises its depots against this. This Zerg bot is going for, well, the Zerg AI, I guess, is going for the oldest strategy in the book for Zerg, pretty much, the Baneling bust. I don't know who came up with this for the first time, but here we see those Banelings going on in. They are going to crash through those depots. Tom Test Marines are doing a beautiful job fanning out, cutting up those Zerglings, so while the depots died, Tom Test shall be fine. One of these racks is burning down. It doesn't look like Tom Test has got repair behavior built into it. So that may actually just eventually burn down, but it does keep adding on more racks. The supply block does hit Tom Test quite hard. Production has ceased for now, although those upgrades are still rolling. And yeah, so the Cheater 1 AI doesn't get that much done. It's making more Banelings. Just pumping out more Lings. Notably, these are slow Lings, no speed involved. And it is kind of funny. Just one of these things, like, I know we use the term AI as far as these bots is concerned very, very loosely, because they are bots. Sometimes we call them AI. But then the in-game StarCraft 2 AI, it's just bots as well. So, now we're going to be seeing Tom Test be the one to move out, which is a little bit concerning, as, I mean, there's going to be Banelings on top of a ramp waiting for it. Cheater 1 has made a lot of units here, as Tom Test will have to try and take these on. It's not going to have a wall to hide behind, but Tom Test does have very, very good micro with its bio, so a bit of a potential Marine split challenge we're going to be seeing as in go those Marines and Marauders. The Banelings are coming forward. Tom Test with his beautiful machine-like micro is just absorbing all those Banelings. The Lings do not have speed, so they've got no choice but to retreat. The micro of Tom Test really is where it gets a lot of its success from. And success Tom Test has, as I do believe, it is going to take this one. And yeah, really, really well done by Tom Test. Just the bot has great fundamentals with the splitting and everything. The strategy is great. As far as, say, the one strategy bots on the ladder go, I'd say it's probably Tom Test that's the highest. Like, maybe Zozo would be in the same category, but Zozo is definitely more flushed out. Tom Test just does this one thing very, very well. And yeah, let's see. Everything is getting killed off as there's so much firepower from these Marines and Marauders. The +1 attack really getting the job done. I am a little bit curious here. I'm lurking around on the SC2AI page, and I see that the author of Tom Test has a bot called Tomception. Okay, but that was actually, it's called my actual test bot. Nothing too significant there. Anyway, GG gets called. Tom Test, of course, will not accept it as it's a bot. And yeah, I'm going to load us into another match here after this, so stay tuned, everyone, and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, into our second game, and it's going to be another one of these matches of a custom bot taking on the default AI in StarCraft 2, the cheater AI, that is. So we have got a Cheater 1 going to be taking on Mubot. Well, Cheater 3, it's just the first AI in the game, so it's called Cheater 1. Yeah, so we'll see how well Mubot's going to do in this match against such an opponent. I mean, it's not easy to program a bot that plays at a very high level, and so the bots that we do have are quite impressive considering the amount of work that's been put into them. But the fact that quite a few of them can definitely beat Cheater AI, pardon me, is very impressive. And we've actually got Mubot going for a bit of a cheeky proxy in this game. The Cheater AI is going for a spotting pool first, though, as some of these AI, or the default AI does, they tend to get aggressive early on. And so this early pool will definitely help deal with such a proxy potentially, as there is a pool on the way, or a hatchery on the way on the low ground, pardon me, partly due to that increased mining rate. The timings are a little bit thrown off, as you see the minerals go up by 7 instead of the usual 5, so it's quite a big increase. Looks like Mubot actually lifted off its racks for a second, weirdly enough. I guess just trying to have a wall or something like that, and it actually works out all right, as the Cheater AI, I suppose with its vision, actually sends all the drones down. I'm not sure it saw this otherwise, but that Marine is about to pop out. Looks like the bunker may get up. No, the SCV does get killed, so Cheater 1 with its cheater vision actually shuts down this proxy nice and early on. It does lose some mining time. It's trying to chase down this Marine, which is programmed to go in and then retreat. Drones being hostile are getting shot on their retreat. The Marine has now killed off 3 drones, which is no small amount for a single Marine. It's like it will get another drone as well. However, there comes the Queen. So that bunker not getting up is quite unfortunate for Mubot. We do have also a command center building on the low ground, weirdly enough, for Mubot. And seeing as how the strategy it said was double PF, I wonder if this is going to be a PF in the door. Yes, it is. So that's a little bit comical, as Mubot opens up with a crazy proxy into Planetary Fortress at the door. I wonder if this is a pre-programmed location or just something that the bot author does, says build the planetary out there to really defend this natural base. I mean, it's something I'm surprised we don't see more often, as bots do have a hard time sort of exploiting this kind of thing. Another SCV moves towards the 3rd base location, so maybe it's going to be multiple Planetary Fortress for Mubot. In this match, the Rax is being worked on by a couple of Lings, and economically, the Cheater AI does have an advantage, of course, due to that extra mineral income, even though Mubot is speed mining. It doesn't quite match up to that increase that the AI gets being a cheater. So the AI will, in theory, have more stuff compared to the amount of workers that it has, although Mubot is being quite greedy with this opening in the sense that it's going for a third command center behind this. I'm wondering if this planetary is just totally off base or if it's going to build another command center there. I would like to see another command center get built there, because if it does start to mine from this location, that is going to be some very inefficient mining. The question shall be whether this command center at the third base turns into a planetary fortress or not, as roaches are on the way out for the cheater AI, but breaking a PF isn't an easy thing. I think that's probably a thing that most custom bots do better than the in-game AI, is target down SCVs around a planetary. I think the in-game AI will just attack the planetary as the threat. So we are getting a planetary building at that location, another command center going up for Mubot. So it's going to have two planetaries locking down its natural and third base, and then potentially just an orbital at the natural. If it turns this into a PF, I think it will be a little bit silly. Meanwhile, the Terran bot has just got 2 Marines out, so not a lot of production. The Rax is still floating over what its opponent has. But again, I don't think the Zerg AI is going to be able to get by these planetaries too easily. We'll keep tabs on whether building armor ever gets researched. There's now a tank on the way. It just goes to show that there's unlimited possibilities as far as how you want to program your bot. You can program a Starcraft bot to do anything you want, basically, as there's options. The cheater AI is pumping out more Hydras, quite a few Hydras on 2 bases, thanks to that super duper strong economy. It's actually bottlenecked by larva, as it throws up an infestation pit as well, so it's building to what could be quite a strong attack against its opponent. And it is notable to say that the bot author Mubot says that their bot wins about 50% of the time against one of these cheater AIs. So at a reasonable level, that's for sure. We've got an armory now on the way for Mubot. This tank is moving forward, which is getting a little bit too far forward, in my opinion. I'm not sure where it's going. Maybe trying to group up with its Marine friend or something. But it would be doing much better if it was electing to sit next to a planetary fortress where it would be much safer. Instead, it's actually getting aggressive. So I wonder if this is supposed to be linking up with the bunker that is not there, as that tank does indeed pad to its death, so that's not ideal. Still, though, the economy of Mubot is going to be quite good, with orbital commands mining in the main and the natural, and then a third base going up, or a fourth base going up, pardon me. So still having more bases than its opponent, but not necessarily a higher income, of course. Infestors are now on the way for cheater AI, as it's just building on up. So we've got a respectful macro game. I'm wondering when we'll eventually see an attack. I do expect the cheater AI to be the first one to attack, as it does have a huge army supply. Mubot, meanwhile, is just being incredibly greedy, building bases all over the place. Now getting a Ghost Academy, so we're potentially going to see like some Hellbat Ghost Snipe sort of plays going down. And then this Marine is running around all over the place. Stimpak's on the way for the AI. Random Marine for Mubot. Harassing at the soon-to-be fourth base, and it does indeed get thrown up. Meanwhile, more scouting Marines get sent on in. Good to see Mubot going for some scouting, as it just keeps sending in poor Marines to try and find out what's going on. Meanwhile, we've got, just upgrades going down. The army is still so small for Mubot. It's just being quite greedy, relying on planetaries at the front, but then also just not making a ton of units. Like, this base is very exposed. These building bases are, of course, very exposed. But Mubot is getting away with it, as the cheater AI is sitting back. And that's the thing. We have some aggressive bots, and then we have some aggressive and not aggressive default in-game AI. So Mubot is getting away with this greed. Its income is now surpassing its opponent, thanks to its mules, and it's ridiculous. 93 SCVs, 94. I'm wondering if it's going to hit 100 here or not as this game continues on. Mubot does have quite the production right now, 6 SCVs at a time, getting up more and more of that production. Once it stops building SCVs, it's just going to be able to spam so many units out. Now, the cheater AI has definitely let Mubot get away with this, but the income is insane. This is such a high income for Mubot. I'm not sure I've ever seen a bot with such a high income. 5,200 minerals a minute. 5,400 for a second. You think 4K is a lot for the cheater? Mulebot says no. I am just dropping mules like mad. Having 112 SCVs. 113. That is so many workers. That is just ridiculous. With only 58 army supply and 113 SCVs, the cheater AI is now starting to move on out just to secure that Xel'Naga. We'll see if it goes any further. We're getting Liberators setting on up as well. Corrosive Bile is going to hit it once. Meanwhile, a Marine on the left side is attacking that location, but the cheater AI is coming on in, and Mulebot simply doesn't have that many units. It's got 40 Marines, and it can produce 11 at a time. Definitely going to have high production off this economy with 110 workers out still. Mulebot is maxed out just like that. A Ghost lands a snipe, and now the Terran bot is just going to be able to trade out so much stuff. It doesn't really matter if all these Marines die. We'll be able to send in more. We do see the cheater AI toss out a lot of fungal growths, though, and yeah, get some good value there. Liberator causing a problem, though, as the default AI does tend to struggle with units like Liberators and tanks. It does get sniped by a Corrosive Bile, though. Mulebot is taking more and more bases, going to have more and more mules to drop, so we may see its income go even higher. The cheater AI is taking R8 trades, though, as I mean, it does have, well, a bigger army, seeing as how Mulebot is eating up so much of its supply with SCVs. It has lost some SCVs during this, though, down to 94 now, though. So that will free up more supply. Mulebot doesn't have a bank yet, whereas the cheater AI does. The Terran is just pumping out so many units, getting up so much production. 2-2 on the way. This is just ridiculous production for Mulebot, as the Terran bot does keep trading out against the Zerg, and it should have higher production than its opponent. Raven allows that lurker to be seen and killed. We are seeing fungals get tossed out constantly. Upgrades are rolling for both sides. The Zerg bot with 2-2 across the board just about. Meanwhile, Mulebot is getting to its own 2-2. We see a Thor get abducted. Fungal growths getting tossed down non-stop on these mass Marines. Liberators are causing problems in the fights, but there's none here right now. There's more being produced. There comes out another. We're also getting advanced ballistics. That's going to help them out. What a ridiculous game this is. You never know what you're going to get when you click on a bot game. Thor gets abducted, then knurled, as it's now working on its opponent, actually helping kill the Liberator is quite nice. Gonna then attack this building starport. Weirdly enough, Liberator's getting some efficiency, though, as the cheater AI is having a hard time with that, but it has made some corruptors, which are now spewing on bases. Ling attacking and trying to clear out this command center, as Mulebot has just constantly tried to expand all over the place. We'll see if it can hold on to these locations or not. It does seem to have quite an army now, as the Zerg has lost some stuff, but there's still more Zerg. Hydras, roaches, infestors all over the place, and things are not looking too bad for the cheater AI. So this game is actually reasonably close right now. The trades are evening out as Mulebot has built better units. The Liberators have had some good efficiency. These command centers are being forced to lift off, though. Thors and Liberators on the ground doing work, though. So this location should be saved. We'll see if Mulebot ever reestablishes it or not. And yeah, so far the bot author's bot is doing pretty good against the AI with just a default in-game advantage. I guess the real power would be to have a cheater AI that has the speed mining built into it as well. That would actually be interesting. I wonder if... I don't think that would be an easy thing to tackle from a programmer perspective, but maybe you could program a cheater AI to have the speed mining just to see how bots do against it when it's got even more resources. Liberators getting some good damage done. That advanced ballistics making the shots white hot. Corrosive Biles are going down trying to help out, but the default AI definitely does struggle with these Liberators. It's cool to see Mulebot building all of these. Mulebot has lost a tremendous amount of SCVs as this game has gone on. I'm not sure where they've all been dying. Maybe they've been getting pulled to the front lines or something to try and repair. I'm watching. Yeah, it does seem that it has been sending out more and more SCVs. across the map. So we're going to follow the story of this guy. Oh, they're actually attacking each other. Okay, I was wondering because we hadn't seen many die. But Mubot says, I need more army supply, and actually has its bot programmed to kill its own workers in the middle of the map. So I guess that's something the bot author has accounted for, replacing supply of workers that it no longer needs. And Mubot is pushing in. The cheater AI is having a hard time maintaining its production against this seemingly bottlenecked by its larva count. As Mubot continues to push on in, the Liberators really caused problems for its opponent. There's Corruptors in the sky, though. But Thors on the ground are getting work done. No upgrades for the mech units of Mubot, which is something that it most likely could afford, although its income has dropped quite a bit since it has lost so many SCVs, or, well, like, say lost, really intentionally killed. That's why they don't show up on the units lost tab. It's actually only lost 18, but it's probably killed, like, at least, like, 60 of its own SCVs. But now it's making 10 more, so that's a little bit counterintuitive, I suppose. Mubot, I think, probably has got this game, though. It's got way more money to mine than its opponent. And here's something that I'm actually curious about. Let's click on this mineral patch and see whether they drop at the same rate. They only drop at 5 minerals a trip, whereas they still return 7, which means that basically the cheater AI does create money out of thin air, so resources lost is going to be a bit of a skewed metric. I mean, Mubot is still just spending its money as quick as it gets it. It's now back up to 76 SCVs, which could help it out. We got Mutas flying around, attacking a Thor, the Thor that notably has no upgrades on it, so it's actually doing worse than it could. Mubot still, it produces 18 Marines at a time. Liberators, tanks on the way. And yeah, not looking too bad here. I mean, the cheater AI, it's got spines and spores all over at the space, actually shuffling them over from this location, which is cool to see. Blizzard really put a lot of work in to this default AI. And yeah, see, Mulebot now going to take some damage in the upper right. That is a lot of mules, some of them fresh, that are going to get picked off. This base is potentially going to die, so this game is way closer than you'd think it would be, as the cheater is still being supported by that extra income that it's got. Mining way, way more than its opponent, going up to 5,800 minerals for a second. That is just ridiculous, as this base is actually going to go down, so that's a nice pickoff for the cheater AI. Mulebot may need to start taking some better trades or something, as the cheater AI does have a lot of money to its name still. So we'll see whether Mulebot can get a kill or not. There's lots of spines that are doing work, though, to help defend this. The cheater is getting on top of some of these Marines, but that is mass Marine against Mutas, which is not ideal. They are 3-3 Marines, although Mulebot maybe not microing those Marines ideally against the Mutas as it pulls back, but they seem to be doing quite all right. It is 57 Marines against what is now 0 Mutas, as they've all pretty much died. Spines are doing whatever work they can. More Corruptors are being made, but there's no Broodlords. There is a Greater Spire, but no Broods have been added in, which is unfortunate, as they'd probably do quite well in this situation. So Mulebot is pushing in now. Let's see, that third base is vulnerable. Lots of drones are getting killed. I mean, more Corruptors are being added in, a few Lings here and there, but the cheater AI is just not making enough ground units, as it says, Corruptors are fine, but they're really not fine in this situation, as the Marines are just shooting everything to death. Their 3-3 attack really helping out. The cheater AI did secure up this base. I mean, it re-secured this one, so it's still in this game, and it's still got a bank, but it has really plummeted in supplies. It's failed to take trades it needs against its opponent. And yeah, let's see. Spine doing its thing. In case you're wondering what the APM of a default StarCraft AI is, it's not that high. It's quite high compared to a human player, but only 1,300, whereas these custom bots, they tend to go a little overkill on that APM. Mulebot looks like it will be cleaning everything out. So I think it's safe to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this one, click that like button. A bit of an odd video, even by this channel's standards, but very fun and entertaining to watch, just to see how bots do against the cheater AI. And this was a bit of a close game, so thank you to the bot authors in this video who sent in their replays to be cast. It was very fun to see. And yeah, click that like button if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches. And then, yeah, subscribe if you're still watching up until this point. And you're like, I don't know what I'm watching here, but I'm enjoying it. Go ahead and sub. We do have Broodlords on the way, but I get the feeling it's a little bit too late for the cheater AI, although it does still have money coming in. Spinecrawler's defending this base, although a tank is doing good work against it, so maybe the Broodlords can turn this one around. But it is just a Broodlord, unfortunately. Not the Broodlords, a Broodlord. Mutas can potentially take on these Liberators that are now flying over the dead space, but unfortunately, the default AI is pathing its Banelings into the Liberators. Corruptors, Mutas should be able to deal with the Liberators, which is cool to see. Where's that one Broodlord? It's joining the main army, as Mulebot still just continues to trade on out. Thor is walking forward. Now Mulebot taking its opponent's bases, as this hatchery will end up going down. The cheater AI is eventually going to run out of money. It's taken a long time to run out of money, as it's still got that boosted income. And yeah, it's still actually mining quite a bit, so not doing too bad. The mass Marines on the ground are problematic against the one Broodlord. I'd love to see some more Broodlords. The AI now throws up an Ultra Cavern, but it's a little bit too late. I feel Blinding Cloud does get tossed down. The Mutas just get demolished by the Marines of Mulebot, as they have that very, very cool micro. And yeah, that Broodlord's doing what it can. Unfortunately, it shall not live long and gets deleted. The cheater AI now down to 64 supply. So well done by Mulebot. I think it's got this. I said that before, and it was a little bit... there was a bit more resistance than I thought, maybe. Spines are very cool. I love how the AI spams down the spine crawlers. But now the third's dead. It's just the natural, and even a cheater AI doesn't have enough money to overcome that. Yeah, check out my second channel if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen. If you're still watching up until this point, there's going to be another video popping up on the screen momentarily, so you can check that out. As Mulebot cleans house. Spamming of the turrets has begun, as Mulebot has nothing else to spend its money on. So many turrets. It's all of a sudden got itself 57 turrets on the map. GG.